The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, October 3rd, run in two different directions as Victor is willing to forgive Jack for saving his wife's life for the time it will take to serve Victor's interests, and Billy has no idea how to quit while he's behind with his mother. Next on YNR. Victor, Eric Braeden, vowed to destroy Jack. Peter Bergman, who shared his early days on the show and his experiences going toe-to-toe with Braeden here. No man was going to be there for Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott, while Victor was oblivious and lived to tell about it. But then it turned out that there was something Jack could do for Victor. Victor is sure that Jack will want to. Who wouldn't want to do something for Victor? After all, Kane Billy Flynn is a threat to Victor. Well, to Jack, too. But this is about Victor. So Victor will table his vendetta against Jack and his entire family. Isn't it just so magnanimous of him? And allow Jack to do Victor's bidding. Until such time as Victor has no more use for him. Then Victor will go back to taunting him like a third grader on the playground. Do they have a deal? No, wait, Jack, don't answer that. Victor knows they do. You got that? Mom is the word. Sally, Courtney Hope, find out why she won Soap Hub's Performer of the Month. Reached out to Jill, Jess Walton, for help bailing out Billy, Jason Thompson. Yet again. Jill appreciated what Sally had to say and promised to discuss it further once she arrived in Genoa City. Well, now Jill is here. But before she and Sally can save Billy from himself, Jill's younger son throws one of his famous tantrums. He never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity, does he? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, October 2nd. Welcome back the one and only Jill, while Audra looks to find a place for herself in a familiar spot. Next on YNR. Both Sally, Courtney Hope, and Jack, Peter Bergman, reached out to Jill, Jess Walton, who recalled some of Jill's greatest rivalries here, about the disaster that is Billy, Jason Thompson. Jill listened. But there is just so much she can do, sitting behind a desk half a world away. So Jill picks up and heads back to Genoa City. Will her youngest son pay attention to what she has to say, face to face? Or will he pull the same spoiled brat act that he did earlier in front of Jack? Either way, it will be good to see her back again. No matter how obnoxious Billy is about it. Audra has a question for Nate. Nate, Sean Dominic, dumped Audra, Zuleika Silver, after finding out about her attempted seduction of Kyle, Michael Mueller, in France. She appeared to move on. But since there are only a handful of single men in Genoa City, it's not like she has a lot of romantic options. So, Audra returns to Nate and asks for a second chance. Will she remind him that he's not exactly pure as the driven snow? He cheated with Elena, Brittany Sarpy. He cheated on Elena. He engaged in some corporate deception, and he certainly told his share of lies. So, really, where does he get off judging Audra? Memories of Damien. Damien, Jermaine Rivers, is dead. He got a big build-up, and then he was killed off. His mother found out about it off-screen. Most of his story has happened off-screen. Now Lily, Crystal Khalil, and Amy, Valerie Pettiford, are about to chat about it on-screen. The two connect over Damien, who is still dead, in the Friday, October 3rd episode of The Young and the Restless. Jill is back in town, and she's ready to confront her son and his resentments. But she'll also share FaceTime with Kane. Will she think the same about him once she hears what he's planning to do? Plus, Nate is back sitting with Amy. Is there a reason for that? Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, has been on many people's minds lately. Earlier this week, Jack, Peter Bergman, turned to her and warned her about what was going on with Kane Billy Flynn, advising her to return to town to find out what he had been up to and what he was threatening to pull off. Later, Sally, Courtney Hope, video chatted with her boyfriend's mother and asked her to help Billy, Jason Thompson, and her by funding Abbott Communications. Now comes the time for Jill to visit Kane's train and have a conversation with her son and someone she thinks of as a son. According to the Daily YNR spoilers, Billy reopens old wounds with Jill, so expect this conversation to be emotional, heated, and potentially disastrous. However, unleashing all their feelings, resentments, and pain on each other might possibly repair their relationship instead. If Nate, Sean Dominic, is sitting with a grieving Amy, Valerie Pettiford, then his conversation on Thursday with Audra, Zuleika Silver, probably didn't go well. Teasers suggested that Audra asked Nate for a second chance. So, if he's with Amy, then he probably couldn't find it within himself to trust Audra ever again, and he rejected her request. While Nate and Audra could truly be over, Amy might provide a sliver of. In the October 1st episode of The Young and the Restless, Lauren Fenmore reached a breaking point with Michael Baldwin, and her fury may have lasting consequences. By walking out on her husband after uncovering his continued loyalty to Victor Newman, Lauren didn't just jeopardize their marriage, she weakened Michael's standing in Genoa City's growing power war. Loyalty to Victor at all costs. Michael's Christian LeBlanc, history of serving as Victor's Eric Braeden, fixer has always come with personal costs. On this day, Lauren, Tracy Bregman, made it clear she had had enough. Lauren's accusation wasn't only about secrecy, it was about a cycle she's watched repeat for decades, where Victor's schemes consume Michael and pull him further from the life they built together. With Kane, Billy Flynn, now moving into position as a common threat, Michael's inability to fully sever ties to Victor looks less like loyalty and more like a liability. Cracks in Michael's foundation. Lauren's walkout underscored how precarious Michael's position has become. Professionally, he is caught between Victor's demands, Kane's maneuvering, and Jack's, Peter Bergman, fragile truce with Victor. Personally, he no longer has his wife's trust. Without Lauren's support, Michael loses not just a partner, but one of the few stabilizing forces that anchored him outside of Newman's orbit. That isolation could make him more vulnerable than ever to manipulation, or push him to reckless choices in an effort to prove himself indispensable. Fallout across Genoa City. Lauren's decision also carries ripple effects beyond her marriage. Nikki, Melody Thomas-Scott, Jack, and Jill, Jess Walton, who returns tomorrow, are all watching closely as alliances harden against Kane. Michael's credibility in those circles now looks compromised. Can Jack and Victor rely on him when even his wife won't? Lauren's fury has exposed a fracture that could undermine Michael's usefulness in the battles ahead. What remains to be seen is whether Michael can regain trust, or whether his role in Genoa City's power struggle has been permanently diminished. In the October 2nd episode of The Young and the Restless, Jill's unexpected arrival at the Kane train turned a power struggle into a deeply personal reckoning. Her confrontation with Billy laid bare the pain his choices have caused, while Kane's refusal to back down showed just how high the stakes have grown. Kane and Billy's standoff. Kane, Billy Flynn, continued to push his hidden agenda, sparring with Billy, Jason Thompson, over loyalty, ambition, and family ties. Billy accused